guys, it's Tom here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool news update video, and we have an injury crisis again at Liverpool. Some players are coming back from injury but others have been ruled out, like Andy Robertson, who has been ruled out until after the international break, so he will miss the next 3 Liverpool games for sure. And also Naby Keita, Jurgen Klopp said he expects him not to go out on international duty with Guinea even though he has been called up, so there could be a potential huge problem if Naby Keita goes out on international break. Curtis Jones is still out injured and Fabio Carvalho is back in training, and the Liverpool Ajax game is going ahead, which is significant. But Andy Robertson not being available is terrible news for Liverpool, but considering he hasn't been in the best of form, this might be a blessing in disguise with Tsimikas coming in for Andy Robertson, and Tsimikas has shown better form, but also Andy Robertson is one of the best left backs on form, so missing him is surely a big blow to Liverpool. And also we have a big update on the Chelsea clash amid the postponement discussions. By the way, let me know what they think about the Andy Robertson injury news and that Curtis Jones is still out injured. Let me know how Liverpool can cope, and I think Ajax will be a really tough team, but I expect Liverpool to play much better than we did against Napoli. That was a real horror show, as Jurgen Klopp said, and we will have Jurgen Klopp's comments later in this video. But if you enjoyed these, make sure to leave a like. And Simon Johnson, according to him, who writes for The Athletic, there has been greater concern with fixtures taking place in London this week due to logistical issues. The capital is expecting a record number of visitors wanting to pay their respects the late Queen's state funeral on Monday, so therefore there are increased safety concerns, with police officers likely to be redeployed at short notice to help manage the state funeral. It is expected to be one of the largest police operations in the history of Great Britain, so events like football matches being hosted in London have a big chance of getting postponed, and I'm not sure if it's a good thing or a bad thing. There is of course a big chance that the Chelsea-Liverpool fixture will be postponed. Mike Keegan writes for the Daily Mail, a raft of options are being considered, and it is thought that switching games has already been discussed. Everton are at home on the same day. Chelsea would instead go to Anfield, so that is a big problem as well. But if it means that the Liverpool Wolves and the Chelsea-Liverpool game will be played after the World Cup, it will make the fixture schedule incredibly congested for Liverpool and for many other clubs as well, so it is not an ideal solution, but we will see what the football authorities decide. And Jurgen Klopp confirmed that the Napoli game was the worst game that Liverpool played under his management. He said it was a real horror show. It was the worst game we played since I've been here. Some will point at games against Aston Villa, for example, where we lost 7-2, but in those games there were glimpses of us. But in this one there was nothing, absolutely nothing. We have to understand why. We met with the players, I watched the Napoli game a lot, and we saw horrors. The players knew as well. 8 out of the 11 players were below the level that they normally play, and the other 3 were just on an average level. You solve all individual problems as a team, and that's the first thing we have to do, to follow a common idea again. My teams are based on a real foundation, if not nearly perfect defending, so I think Liverpool will draw a line like when we lost to Tottenham, I think in 2017, 4-1. We lost that day and we drew a line under it, and after that Liverpool went on a run with greater defending numbers. We were really much better defensively, and Liverpool have to improve massively defensively if we want to achieve anything close to our targets this season. So Robertson felt something very late, and he actually felt it the next day only, so he's out for at least I would say after the international break. That's what Jurgen Klopp confirmed. It looks like it could be a knee injury, so it's a serious injury that will keep him out for around 3 weeks to a month. And Jurgen Klopp admitted that Ajax are in a completely different situation because they have won all their games so far this season and they are doing a really great job at rebuilding their team again. And it's a home game in the Champions League, so we have to make sure we play completely different to what we did at Napoli, and we will see what we can get for that. It's always like this: if you want to sort a problem, it doesn't work out in the first place like immediately, and then you think that's wrong, and then you have to do it again and again, and we have to find consistency again, and we have to defend much better. Joel Matip also said that the Liverpool worked on defending a lot, and we will not make any kind of mistakes. It doesn't mean that we won't make any kind of mistakes anymore, but we have to try and play as well as we can. Liverpool will have to show a massive reaction, a massive response. Hopefully the crowd will help with that, but Jurgen Klopp said that Liverpool have to react to the way that the season has gone and also the way that we played against Napoli, because it was just not good enough. And Jurgen Klopp also spoke about the players, that they wanted to sort the situation, but because we are not over the moon about our season so far, we don't think we played especially exceptional football so far this season, and that's an understatement. So in the Napoli game, it looked like everybody wanted to sort the problem, but by himself, and that never gave us the structure to work together. We didn't work as a team, we weren't together enough, cohesive enough, compact enough, both in defense and in attack, and then a game can look as awful as it did against Napoli when you come up against a world-class side on top of their game. And we all agree, and it's scary, that we could have conceded more goals against Napoli. Jurgen Klopp was very honest in his pre-Ajax press conference. I listened to it in full, so you guys get the biggest and best and most important bits in this video. So we didn't hide anything. We told the players the absolute truth. We didn't hold back anything. There was no need for that. We just said how it is, but not to knock the players down, just to make sure that we know that where we are now after this game, this is the starting point for us. Now we have to make sure that we sort the problems again together on the pitch as a team. But also the key is the big problems in life and in football. You don't sort it out very often like this in an instant. You have to work on it, and that's what we will do. So I expect a massive improvement in the Ajax game, but of course Liverpool will not start playing perfect football straight away. And Rangers and Napoli's Champions League game was postponed by one day, so it will be played on September the 14th, and the decision to reschedule the match is due to severe limitations on the UK police force and the ongoing events surrounding the period of national mourning. And UEFA has also announced that away fans will not be authorized to attend the match, and Napoli will of course compensate their supporters for the already purchased tickets and arrangements, for which we will be communicated later. We don't know yet whether Ajax fans will be available in the Liverpool stadium, but there is no announcement on that yet. And actually a fellow countryman of mine, a Hungarian analyst, has said that Harvey Elliott has been dribbled past the most for Liverpool, and he has just won 18% of his attempted tackles. He has been a bright spark going forward and in possession, but to play in midfield, Elliott needs to be better defensively, and we knew that he's not really a defensive midfielder. That side of his game is not his strong point. That's pretty obvious. We play Harvey Elliott in midfield for his attacking output, but Liverpool, the problem was Liverpool didn't have another great defensive minded midfielder next to Fabinho, because anybody who played there, James Milner or Jordan Henderson, they have been woeful in Liverpool's midfield. So I wouldn't put too much blame on Harvey Elliott, to be honest. And it's always interesting what a Liverpool legend like Robbie Fowler has to say about Liverpool's slow start this season. It looks like Liverpool have some real problems, he said. There's no doubt about that, and no hiding from it either. They were a few minutes away from the title until Aston Villa collapsed at the Etihad. They were by far the better team in the Champions League final against the Real Madrid side, who were clearly fearful of Liverpool and they were astonished that they had won. Now 7 games into a new season, they are finished as a force. It doesn't happen like that. Great teams do decline, but it's over years and not days. So you have to look at other issues, and the chief amongst them is injuries. I'm not saying that having 4 midfielders injured is an excuse. I'm saying Liverpool made an error in not planning for those injuries. They made the big mistake of thinking numbers meant quality, and that's not always the case when you look at the profile of those making up the numbers in midfield. Jurgen Klopp said 9 was enough in his midfield, and it was last season, but was it this time? When you have players like Oxlade-Chamberlain, Naby Keita, Thiago with a history of injuries, and then Henderson and Milner who have suffered fairly regular muscle injuries over the past couple of years, that leaves them with 3 kids and Fabinho for the midfield, which isn't enough. All 3 kids are good players, but they are not yet elite players, and they don't have the experience and probably the quality yet to play week in, week out and help Liverpool challenge for the title. I said this before the season began, and I urged Liverpool to get a midfielder in, and we signed Arthur on loan, but it was a little bit too late, and Liverpool really need to get Arthur and Thiago in the midfield and bed them in again. I think Thiago will start against Ajax alongside Fabinho, and then on the other side it's a big question whether Harvey Elliott starts again or Arthur starts again. But Liverpool have to beat Ajax and we have to get some momentum back and some feel-good factor back, and also we need to get Darwin Núñez firing and among the goals again as well. Paul Merson also suggested that now Liverpool will settle for a top 4 finish. It's all getting reassessed after not a good start to the season. At the start of the season, you would have fancied Liverpool to give Man City a run for their money in the Premier League title race, but now I think Liverpool will settle for a top 4 finish. They are having one of those bad patches, but you don't become a bad team overnight. Liverpool have enough credit in the bank after what they have done in recent seasons, so I expect them to bounce back in the coming weeks. Haaland's arrival is obviously a massive boost for Pep Guardiola, but it's not the end of it, with Liverpool still very much in the running. With the departures of Jesus, Sterling, Man City have lost at least 30 Premier goals between the pair, and that could turn out to be a huge problem for them. I don't think Man City are as good as they were last season either. They dropped a lot of points so far, thankfully, and also they could have easily lost to Aston Villa if there was a competent VAR referee in charge. So Liverpool being 5 points behind Man City, it feels like it's actually a blessing, because with the way we played this season, we could have been a lot more points behind Man City. So getting a 5-point gap back, if Liverpool can start hitting some form, I don't think that's an impossible task really. So Liverpool are not entirely out of the title race, but we have to improve, that's for sure. And Paul Merson is also worried about Mo Salah's form. Sadio Mane and Salah always played well alongside each other, pushed each other on. They were like Starsky and Hutch. Mane's sale was one of the worst I've seen in recent years. I will never get tired of saying this. As for Liverpool's front three, with all of them fit, I think Jota should start up front at the moment, with Salah and Luis Diaz either side of him. That's actually not a bad shout. I think Liverpool will alternate between Jota, Núñez and Bobby Firmino, and whoever hits top form will play the most games. But also, I don't think Liverpool had a say in keeping Mane. Mane wanted to leave, so let's put an end of this, that Liverpool could have kept Mane, because that's just not true. Mane wanted to leave even 1 year before this summer that just passed, but Liverpool said, just give us 1 more year and then you can leave, and that's exactly what happened. Come on Liverpool, let's beat Ajax tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to that game. Thanks for watching guys, hope you enjoyed this. Have a nice day, see you later, bye.